Oh, Danny Dyer.
Hello, Dan.
First of all, do you like my new glasses?
I love them. So this is your second set, because on the train earlier you had a set and now you've got a set in here.
Well, I've been introduced to trifocals.
Right.
These ain't trifocals.
Because you went to David
Clue. I'll give him a shout out.
David
If you do
Clulo,
want to
that
get
was
involved
it,
and partner us, you can do. Better than Specsavers. Anyway, I had an eye test because I'm fucking old. And basically, I need trifocals, which is when I'm driving. So basically, I can look up.
Yeah.
And I can see better. I can look mid, and that helps. I don't know what I'm looking at mid.
Yeah.
Maybe the sat nav. And then this isn't why I'm driving, by the way. And then when I look down, I can read my phone.
Oh.
So it's very confusing because you don't move your nut. You keep your eyeballs up, and then you just sort of look down. So I'm trying to. Anyway, these ones, the particular ones I've got on, which if you're only listening on Global Player, you will notice that they're a 1960s woman's sunglasses.
So you went to the antique shop again, bought the glasses.
Well, no, I'll tell you what happened actually, because I like to go on eBay.
Oh yeah.
Like some things pop in my nut, random shit. I go, what? Oh, I wonder if they've got. And I go on eBay and they've got it. Anyway, so there's people that obviously know that on eBay. So I now have sellers that contact me and go, oh, we've got a special deal for you. And these popped up.
Okay.
So it's obviously algorithms, all that bollocks that we're being watched. Maybe they realise and they see that I'm looking at vintage glasses on eBay.
Because you love a pair of vintage. How many pairs of glasses have you got
I've got
now?
loads, darling, but I've got them sort of really thin sort of Father Christmas ones, which
the
are
circle
half
ones
moons.
you've got.
I've got half moons that look
Half
like Father
moons.
Christmas ones that Father Christmas would wear. I've got ones that look like Harry Potter. I've got a few Harry Potter ones, to be honest with you. But these ones popped up. Anyway, so I bought these for £8.
Yeah.
And then went down to David Clulo to get a blue tint on them and my reading glasses. That then cost me another £320. So again,
yeah.
absolute madness. But yeah, that's me look today. That's the sort of vibe I'm going on. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. This is probably the longest.
I just want to explain something to the viewers, is that because we're very busy people, Danny, because she's got 800 kids, me, because, I'm sort of running around sort of, just sort of doing loads of different various things at the moment, that, we haven't got time to make this as current and weekly as we possibly can. We would love to do that. So this is, we're sort of filming this a little bit, it's almost like Back to the Future.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so Rivals, and we've spoke about Rivals on this podcast, is now live.
Yeah, Rivals is
It's been out for
live.
nearly 2 weeks. And I've got to say, the love it's getting.
I can't, honestly, because you said it to me, didn't you? You was like, have you watched it yet? And I was like, I need a weekend to watch it. And it is, I finished it now.
You've done it, right? You've done it. So,
because I was like, is he going to watch a series? You know what he's like on his PlayStation, loves his PlayStation, nothing gets him off that.
Loves it,
but that, I had it on and the music lured him in, and then he was like...
So did he get involved in Ep 1 or did he miss Ep 1?
No, Ep 1. So you know what you said to me? Because we was filming, weren't we? We did that show that day.
Yes.
Remember? And then you went to me, start Rivals tonight. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna. So I sat downstairs, like you said. I thought, let me put Rivals on. And then all of a sudden, his little ear just swiveled. He was like, oh.
While he was on his platform.
Yeah.
So the setup in Danny's gaff is, by the way, is they've got a lovely gaff. But Jared set his little sort of gaming sort of area in the corner, right?
Yeah, which is going when the extension's done.
That's why I love the man and all. Like, he doesn't do small talk. So you could have a chat with him while he's playing Football Manager. Or he's playing NFL. Yeah. He loves fucking NFL.
I know he does.
So he sets his little area up, his little domain, and he'll chat with you and he'll be playing. And so anyway, so on your big telly, you was watching it. He was in his corner.
Yeah, he was in his
corner.
corner.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away from fucking managing Murphy Tidfield in sort of Division 7, and I'm going to come and get involved. He left his area.
He left his area.
He's left the domain.
And we even got in bed and watched it.
Well, okay.
no, in a sexual way.
Right.
But
no, I'm loving this.
Because it was like a thing. Like I was like, right, I'm going to go up and watch it. And he went, oh, I'll come and watch it then.
This is amazing.
And then he had football. So on the Saturday, so he was in a hotel, and he was like, oh, don't watch it without me.
This is what I'm loving.
And
right?
I couldn't believe it, because honestly, we finished it. It was so good.
You did finish it.
I was so proud. It was like you were just so good in it, and I'm so glad you're getting all. Because I had to message you. I was like, I'm so glad you're getting all the love, because
it's gone a bit mad for me. You know what I love? I love the fact that actually, because I watch Jared a lot, and I love what he does, and I treat football like theatre. You know, this is why I respect your man so much, and any footballer really, in a sense of you can train all you want and you can be as fit as you want, but every time that whistle blows, it's absolute improvisation.
Yeah.
You have no idea. So it's like being in a theatre, an amphitheatre, in front of 65,000 people, and every touch and every decision you make is so important. And it's about making the right and wrong decisions. You don't know how the ball's going to come at you. It changes every single week. So I watch him in his theatre and finally sat down and watched something of mine.
Yeah, he loved it.
Together. I'm finding a lot of couples are watching it together.
Because it's for everyone. That show is literally for other than obviously children, but it is just so good. Like straight away you're in. You know, like sometimes with a series you think, like literally within 5-10 minutes you're like, I want to watch this.
Yeah, you buy into it
like
straight
it's
away.
like set in like, it's not obviously set currently, is it? Like 86, isn't
86.
it? Yeah, and I love it. I love what everyone wears.
That's what I'm saying. We've got it so right.
It was so
Clobber,
perfect.
music, you know, the characters. You know, you hate some of these characters in it, but you fucking cannot help but keep watching them.
Yeah.
And of course, my character, I don't want to give any spoilers away.
No,
Fred, who, and it's very odd for me because I've been around a long time and I've been acting for a long time, and some people think I'm a really good actor, and some people, if you mention the fact that I'm an actor, laugh. And they really belly laugh and go, what do you mean, Danny Dyer as an actor? It's ridiculous to some people. But all of a sudden, all those sort of comments have died off.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular opinion that I can't act because how dare I be in such a big elite show? And not only that, some people are alluding to the fact that, you know, I'm the one that's sort of come out of it really in a way of going, oh God, he's a really good actor.
Oh, Dad.
And so I'm getting this backhanded sort of, you know, from these big broadsheets going, oh no, actually, there's an headline that went, the biggest plot twist about Rivals is that Danny Dyer can act. And so in a way I'm going, oh, thanks for the compliment. At the same time I'm going, well, fuck off actually.
Yeah.
Because what defines a good actor? I just want to say this out there, and I don't get bogged down with this shit. I really don't. I really am quite overwhelmed by the love that I'm getting and what the show's getting, of course, because I'm so proud to be part of such an amazing piece of work. But what defines a good actor is whether or not you work or not. It's as simple as that. Because there's a lot of actors out there that are quite bitter and twisted, and you know that you know, there's some actors that I've never heard of, unknowns, that will say I can't act, and then I sort of click on their profile and I go, oh, they're an actor, because they can't get any work.
Yeah,
so they go, well, why is he getting the work?
Yeah.
Well, because the people that make the decisions, the people that want to, you know, pay you money to put you in a big production, is because you can act. There's no favours involved. So it's the people that matter are the ones that hire you. So that's what defines a good actor or not, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the people that sit there, you know, behind their little screens and go, he can't act, he's wooden. The classic line, wooden, what does that even mean?
I don't even know what when you.
I remember when it first got announced, the Disney thing, right? And it was massive. Oh, Disney Plus are doing a thing called Rivals, and they put the whole cast list up. And there was a few comments going, oh, you lost me at Danny Dyer. Oh God!
That's horrible.
No, but that's right. But I was just reading it, sort of flicking through it. You know, David Tennant. I mean, Aidan Turner. Oh my God, I love it. But there was a few right negative shit about me, going, oh my God, what has happened to Disney? How can they hire him? How fucking wrong were they done?
And that always hurts you. You say the acting stuff, don't you? Because you
Well,
love it so
I find
much.
it fascinating
and,
in a sense of, like, I've been around for 32 years, so if I can't act, how the fuck have I had a career?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, so that's what defines whether you can act or not.
Exactly.
Is that people that know about acting or know about producing and directing go, oh, we want him in this thing.
Well,
So, you know, it's been amazing. So you loved it? You both loved it? Any tears from you? Did you get choked?
There was a few choky moments. There was one scene with you that I did have to shut my eyes at. We won't go into it too much.
Really? It wasn't that bad, considering the sex in that show.
Oh my God! Yeah, you have had there was a couple rollerbacks with you.
No, I've got in the first episode. I don't want to give any spoilers away. There is a sort of a masturbation scene.
Yeah, there was the last one felt quite intense.
Yeah, but it should be.
Yeah,
because our love story's so important to the show.
No, it was perfect, but it's always weird, isn't it?
So you closed your eyes.
Yeah. I didn't get divulged too much into that, but other than that,
Jared, did he close his eyes?
No, he fucking loved it.
Of course he did. But I just want to give a shout out, really, to all of my Rivals family, and I'm so proud of fucking every single one of them, man. There was so much support on that job, and we all rallied round each other. And I've got to say, even the youngsters in it, some of these youngsters coming through, your Bella McLeans, your Catriona Chandler and Emma Shipp, Jamie Bisping, these youngsters that I'd never heard of that are so fucking good. And then you've got the middle-aged lot like us lot that, and your Tennants and your Turners and I love Victoria Smurfit who plays Maud. I think she's fucking amazing in it. Claire Rushbrook who plays Monica, David Tennant's wife, who's quite sad, aristocratic, but, there's a real sadness throughout for her. Catherine Parkinson, I've got to give a shout out, who plays my Lizzie. Lisa McGrillis, who plays Val. is horrible to me.
No, she's so horrible
to me. Keeps calling me, like fat and stuff, fat shaming me. But I think, listen, if you haven't, sorry, I'm just gonna. Oh, this is what happens when you get to my age. Look, you bend over and you go, oh. If you haven't seen it yet, please get involved with Rivals. Just because it's fucking good telly and it's good escapism. I know it doesn't need to be promoted anymore, but I'm so fucking proud to be part of something so beautiful, and it's getting the recognition it deserves. And I'm just still waiting. And you will be exclusive to know whether we do get a second series on this podcast. So, do stay tuned for that. And I love the fact I've made something that you can watch
with
your man.
Yeah. With my man who doesn't leave his place.
The greatest review for this is that Jared come off of playing NFL. And there can't be no better fucking review than that. So yeah, I'm really overwhelmed with it, and I'm just so glad it's getting the love. Apparently, in the top 100 at this point of all things being watched, we are second. So we're beating Slow Horses and all these really cool, beautiful shows. We're just behind the Penguin, but the Penguin can get fucked. As much as I love Colin Farrell, I do think that we will leap it. Do stay tuned. Dan.
Yeah.
You went away last week, didn't you?
I did.
With the Terribles, which is what we're calling them now, the twins.
Yeah, the twins. The twins are now called the Terribles.
The Terribles. And you went to Euro Disney.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
No, do you know what? So basically, it was so beautiful and so magical because Disneyland is perfect. It was just getting there and back, which was hard. But I think the twins...
Because why? What was it? Why?
Basically, there used to be a direct train from King's Cross and Pancras...
Which you would think straight into fucking Disneyland. Yeah.
But apparently after COVID, that stopped. So basically they stopped the direct train to Disneyland.
Has a virus got to do with whether or not
but this is what I mean. I'm really confused by it because the amount of money that goes into Disneyland, I'm sure that people would pay for that train because it was so you got on the train, which was an hour and a half, then you had to wait an hour for the second train.
Where did the train go? The first train?
Lille.
Fuck.
And then you wait an hour to then get on another train for an hour and a half.
I mean, it's fuck all in Lille.
So it was better to just get the plane because usually you think, sod getting on a plane, it's the airport, blah, blah, blah. But actually, and do you know what it is?
With the Terribles?
Which was the worst thing ever. When we were getting on the train to go to Lille.
How many buggies did you have?
We had 2 buggies. We had about 5 different cases because obviously I had a case, a little mini case with snacks. Mummy had a case, Sonny had a case, and everyone had a case. Do you know what I mean? And there was people on the train, and then I see a couple of people, and I was like, oh, do you just mind helping us?
People that work on the
obviously on the transport. They said, no, sorry, you have to book assistance. So unless you book assistance, no one can help you.
Right,
They're not allowed
you're standing
to touch
there,
your
you need to get on the train, you've got buggies, you've got all suitcases.
The whistle's going.
So you say, okay, mate, so let's just have this right. So I now need to go online, you're standing in front of me. All you need to do is lift this buggy, right? So now I need to go online to book assistance so that you can now lift that buggy.
Yes, they're not allowed to touch your luggage or anything. You have to book assistance. And I was like, really? Luckily, there was a really, really lovely guy that actually helped us after we got off the train from Lille. He helped us get off the train. So that one thing was just... because the whistle's going, you got to get on the train.
What happened to humanity, Dan?
Honestly, it was...
What happened to human beings helping each other?
So, no one helps. Literally no one helps.
Unless you book online.
Unless you book online and get assistance.
Do you have to pay for the booking?
But must be.
Of course you do, yeah.
No one can... They're not allowed... They're like, we're sorry, we can't touch your suitcases. I was
Incredible.
like, what?
And you've got the Terribles running
around.
You've got Sans
running
around.
He was good. To be fair, Sans, I will give him his due. He was so... But you can give him an iPad. Do you know what I mean? The twins were just carnage on the trains. But...
they don't want to travel.
Why
would they?
But they loved... To be fair... They loved Disney. When we were there, it was gorgeous. To be fair, that's been a buggy all day. I wouldn't probably have taken them if I didn't have Sans because they're still too young.
Yeah.
But Santi, being 4 in Jan, he was so ready. We did the firework displays. They loved all that. They went on every ride. They didn't have a choice. I put them on all the rides. I was like, sorry, girls going straight on the spinning teacups.
Good.
You can't have no... So they were fine. But it's just the travelling.
It's the travelling and also the food situation.
Because you can't,
you can't sit there. Right, if they've been in buggies all day.
They don't want to then sit in a high
chair. And also, who wants to sit round, even for Artie, who's 11, who wants to sit round a table with adults, eating, a civilised meal? They're not going to do it.
No,
so you never got to eat, really, did you?
No, this was the worst thing because Mummy booked in the Disneyland hotel. There was a really lovely restaurant where the princesses and the prince walk around and they speak to you and take photos with you. So we didn't really obviously realise how posh it was. So obviously we sit down, the twins were in the high chair, blah blah blah. It's one of them restaurants where you have, like that little spoonful of something before your starter. So very, very posh, very a la carte.
Oh, I like all that.
Yeah, but
cleans your old palate.
Not with 18-month-old twins,
don't,
right?
fuck
So
that.
like they're screaming. You can tell people have obviously paid a lot of money
of
to like
course
sit
they
here,
have,
and then
yeah.
obviously
You've ruined their
Prince
fucking night.
Edward is obviously coming over and how are you, dear, and all that kind of stuff. Like, and you're like
Prince Edward.
Prince Edward.
Of all the fucking royals to use, you've gone with Edward.
I don't actually know any of the princes' names. Like, like the princes in Disney
Right,
movies.
Harry, got William.
No, I'm talking about the princes in Disney movies.
Oh, but there's not an Edward. I thought you meant the actual.
No, I
royal
don't
family.
know. Who's the princes?
Oh, I don't know. Fuck me. God. So you've got the prince of Aladdin. Is there a prince? Is he a prince? I don't know.
Yeah,
you
well,
would
I know.
know this.
Well, I know the princesses.
Oh, I see. So the characters are coming over.
They
and
want
the
a picture of
terribles.
the terribles are getting their tomato pasta and just lobbing it all over the floor.
Love this. That's the Dyer gene in them.
So yeah, us in a princess hotel was not probably the best for them.
And
but other
exhausting
than that,
for you, baby. I
With
know.
my Sunny's so funny because obviously my sister Sunny, your daughter, she wanted triplets. She's always wanted triplets,
Yeah.
and she said to me afterwards, she was like, "I don't think I want kids. I don't."
No, this was great for me because obviously she does talk about having children and everything. So I couldn't go. I was working. But it was interesting seeing Sunny. As soon as she walked in, went, "I'm never having children. I don't think, Dad." I was like, "Oh wow, you've changed your trip." No, I don't think it's for me, Dad. Honestly, because obviously, the idea of juggling. Anyone we'd speak to about this, to have 3 children under 4. Is just petrifying.
It was.
And especially when you're trying to do nice things for them. They're just not old enough yet, the terribles, to
No,
understand
they're not.
it. Santi is, of course.
Yeah.
But of course, you've got to share your time with Santi to make sure he's having a nice time. But make sure the terribles don't run off or, do anything really fucking
That's
dangerous.
why I put them on all the rides. I was like, girls,
Yeah, but that's right.
you've got to come on
So
the
you get a
rides.
40-second break.
Yeah, so they had, and they did, to be fair, like them all. Because imagine if they cried on all the rides, and that would have been a disaster.
Well, you've got to learn them to start liking
Yeah,
rides.
well, they didn't have a choice. They were
Exactly.
straight on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
And of course, you've got your nan there. Obviously, Carol, she's getting old now, so you can't ask her
72,
to.
isn't she, walking
can't.
around?
I know she's listening. I'm sure she's pushing 80. I can imagine her going, "Oh, fuck off." But I think the dynamics and the people you had Artie, obviously, who's 11, and it was his birthday trip actually, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, bless him.
but it just sounded like actually you was all fucked.
We was shattered.
By the
But
end of it.
you don't stop walking. But Disney is for anyone. I would say to people that don't have kids, you could go Disney.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so magical. Everyone walks around with their ears. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
As the
of course, yeah,
donuts,
yeah,
as the famous hot dogs, and people. Like, it is so magical.
So I think the moral of this tale is don't get the fucking train
No,
because you've got to get 2 fucking trains. Takes you out your way to Lille. So if anything, go to the one in Florida because you only have to suffer with hurricanes. She must
I've
stop
had this
vaping,
chesty
yeah.
cough for 3 weeks.
Well, look, the great thing is that obviously they're going to ban vapes next year. So
I've quit vaping
You've had a
now.
have you?
I've told you I've had to because of my throat.
Okay, no good.
It's just, I think sometimes if people smoke cigarettes, they go outside
me.
and they have a cigarette and that's
Yep.
it. With vapes, you can be on that vape all day
You're right,
long.
you're
Like they're just,
absolutely
I
right.
just don't.
Until
They're
it runs out
banning them
of
in June, aren't
They're
they?
going to ban the disposable
Because
ones.
because obviously vaping was obviously for people that smoked and needed to get off it.
Yes.
Actually, vaping brought people to then vape who have never smoked.
Well, what the thing that I find fascinating is that they stopped selling 10 cigarettes because youngsters were buying them. Then they changed the colour of cigarettes because they didn't want to be attracted by children. But they bring out fucking strawberry milkshake flavoured
Yeah,
vapes.
yeah.
So if anything, they just made the situation worse.
yeah.
And remember, we're being governed and all that bollocks. So therefore, they make these decisions about what you can buy in shops to smoke and your vices as such. So they created this fucking mess. Okay, so young people didn't invent vapes. Yeah, they did it. They created it, or the companies created it. They allowed these fucking, these fruity flavoured
Yeah, that
candy
taste
floss
amazing.
vapes. And then they go, oh no, actually, people are getting addicted to them. Of course they fucking are, you cunts.
Because they're full of nicotine and they also taste really nice.
And now they're going to ban them. So now what does it do? It just drives it underground. Okay, now this isn't a political podcast, thank fuck. Because politics is bollocks, by the way. And every fucking politician at the moment should be fucking ashamed of themselves because I still don't see any sort of honesty at all. And any people that govern you should be looking after your interests.
Absolutely.
And I still don't feel a sense of that. So, for them to now start, wagging their finger at children smoking vapes.
But they're the ones that brought out.
Exactly. And they take them, a very taxable drug. because I suppose a vape is a drug now, full of nicotine or whatever. We still don't know what the consequences of that is, but all you've done is created another problem. But all the shit going on in this country at the moment, you know, the first thing you want to do is sort of get rid of vapes. It's like, okay, you know, you've missed the fucking target. But we'll swerve that. I've got an audition today.
Yes, you have.
And,
I can't believe I'm nervous for you.
I know. I feel a bit didgy around it now. I can't really talk about what it is, and I don't want to mention it in case I don't get it. But I've not had an audition in 15 years.
I can't believe
Now,
it.
this is because I've been put in a very privileged situation. I haven't been put in it. I've worked to get to a situation where my profile's big enough where if someone wants me in something, in this country I'm talking about, not abroad, then they know what I'm about. They know what I can bring to the table. They offer me a part. All of a sudden, I've got to go and win this part.
Oh my, this is so
It's a really
exciting
project. I've got to spend an hour in a room, hour and a half maybe, a bit of improv, you know, and sort of, you know, trying to, you know, go in there and go, please give me the job. I'm the best one. Now, I don't know who I'm up against. Obviously, big people. But, you know, I'm not going to lie. My arse is very tense at this point.
feel like this is going to be it. I think you've got it.
Makes me feel alive in a sense of like, oh, how's this going to pan out? And I forgot the feeling of, you know, what it's like to go
when you have
to
to
an
wait
audition.
outside
Well,
the
absolutely.
room. And...
You know, and you got to win the part. And I think that I'm absolutely up for that. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's weird at the moment because I'm filming Mr. Big Stuff 2.
You are.
And we started shooting this week, which obviously you listeners, you know, we're a few weeks ahead of you. It's fucking great. You know, we really have picked up from where we left off. Any fans of Mr. Big Stuff out there, you're going to fucking love this. But I'm so in the character of Lee at the moment. So to sort of try and snap out of Lee and go and do an audition for this part that's very different. And going back to the Rivals thing, I think the fact I'm getting opportunities to play something different. If you haven't seen Rivals, you'll see that Fred, very different to what Danny Dyer represents, whatever the fuck that is. I don't like talking about myself in the third person, but you know, this is me proving maybe I can do other stuff. And so this part, if I get it, will be very, very different. So I've got to try and snap out of Lee mode and try and go into this other character. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
It could be a beautiful thing. I could come skipping out of there. I could also come out of there, you know, sobbing me fucking heart out.
I think you're going to be all right. No, don't doubt. Don't doubt. You do doubt. You do doubt.
We're in the number 3 in the charts podcast, darling. Do you know what I mean? So my chest is held fucking high, mate. My tits are sticking out like you wouldn't fucking believe. I want to thank all the listeners.
Oh, we've got to thank
for
them.
being faithful to us.
We've had so much love. It's been so
and believing
lovely.
in these two Danny Dyers.
Yeah, because people do believe.
They do believe in us.
People do believe. It's so nice.
And it's always a revelation to us. We never take this shit for granted.
No.
So, you know, thank you for, you know, listening to me and Mark Danny talking absolute shit.
I don't understand it, do you?
Every fucking week. But, you know, we really do appreciate you. And keep sending in your problems, you know, so that we can try and answer them in Dyer's straits. Dan, it's that time again.
Yeah. The Conspiracy Corner.
Conspiracy Corner.
Oh.
You know, a corner of the world where we're going to fucking talk about conspiracies. Now, this particular conspiracy is something that I've sort of heard about it. I've never really delved into it too much. Now, this is the reptilians' conspiracy theories, right? Now, what is it, you say? What do you mean, Dad? Hey? What do you fucking mean? And I say, the reptilian conspiracy theory claims that, and I mean, this sounds fucking mental, right? Now, let's not forget, people fucking believe this shit. I don't know whether I believe it or not either yet. The reptilian conspiracy theory claims that shape-shifting alien reptiles secretly control human society. Popularised by David Icke in the 1990s, it asserts that reptilian beings from Alpha Draconis can take human form and have infiltrated governments, royal families and banking systems worldwide. Believers claim that these reptilians maintain human appearance by consuming human blood and negative energy operating from underground bases. They point to supposed evidence like strange behaviours of public figures, interpretations of ancient texts mentioning serpent beings, and alleged irregularities in photos and videos of politicians and celebrities. The theory often connects to other conspiracies like the Illuminati.
Oh, yeah, the Illuminati.
And claims of ancient alien intervention in human evolution. Believers see reptilians as explaining many global problems from wars to economic inequality. Now, David Icke, I remember him back in the day, actually, who a very smart man, very engaging man, who started to talk about this stuff. Now, weirdly, I didn't know we were going to do it this week. Obviously, the producers have to produce. You've got to keep them on their fucking toes. Again, we're building up to 9/11, the big one, the one that gets us cancelled, right? But, this one has been coming up in my algorithms. Now, I saw something the other day, and it was old footage of Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And he's talking to this sort of fan, a black and white grainy sort of thing. Anyway, in this footage, and look it up, okay, Elvis as a reptile, right? And you'll see this, is that Elvis is talking to this person, and as his face turns, he does look really weird. His eyes are bulging, he looks odd. And then he's sort of security step in front of the camera, and they sort of go to do something to his face, as if they're rearranging his mask or his face. Right? Now, you need to watch this. I understand there's AI. I understand there's CG. But I watched it and went, oh, fucking hell, that is odd. Like, if they're going to do this, right, these aliens, these reptilians, then they would inhabit very famous, powerful people's bodies, governments, presidents, prime ministers, so that, they're governing us as human form. But actually, they're reptilians, right? And they've got these fucking masks on.
Yeah, so what is a reptilian?
I remember watching. What do you mean?
When I see reptilians,
What do you think a reptile is?
Do you know what I thought reptile, what we was going to be speaking about?
Go on.
Like crocodiles and shit.
Well, no, that's a reptile.
Yeah.
That's a form of reptile.
Yeah.
Snakes.
Yeah.
Chameleons.
Yeah, like
Komodo
reptiles.
dragons.
Yeah, reptiles.
So they're
and stuff.
so they're like aliens that look like them. Now, this is something that goes back. Now, this could come from something that I used to watch when I was a kid called V.
Okay.
Now, V was a show in the 80s, and it was about these aliens that land on Earth, but they look like us, and they come off, and like some alien films, well, most, they're always the fucking enemy.
Yeah.
But these aliens land, you should watch it. Anyone out there, watch the 80s version. There was a new version of it. Anyway, so everything's sweet, and they want to communicate with us, and they're really handsome, some of the men and the women, and they start to integrate themselves into society, and, there's relationships between some humans and in this show. And these, so anyway, as the show goes on, you know that there's quite an evil agenda from these aliens, and they are reptilian. So that there's a scene where this kid breaks into their sort of base, and he watches one take the mask off. Now, I remember I was a kid and I shat myself at this. There's also an amazing scene where these two fall in love. The alien is a man, and a woman, as a human, fall in love. She gets pregnant, and when she gives birth, there's a birthing scene. It comes out as a fucking reptile. And my ass flapped. I mean, we're talking 80s. So I, as a child watching telly, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then it all comes out, and then it starts to realise that, the humans in V realise that they're evil and they want to take over our fucking planet. So this could stem from that, people that watch that and went, there's reptilians.
Quite good.
Or it's fucking true. Now,
I don't know.
The former sports presenter David Icke remains the theory's main supporter, having written multiple books claiming specific leaders, including the British royal family, are reptilians. While lacking any scientific evidence, of course, the theory appeals to those who distrust authorities and seek simple explanations for complex global issues. So the idea, that these reptilian extraterrestrials from Alpha Draconis, something like that, can take human form. And they've infiltrated the royal family, political leaders, and all that sort of the banking situation. I mean, fuck me. This is probably up to this point the biggest conspiracy ever.
Yeah.
Imagine if this shit was true.
I don't know if I believe all this. Do you?
Listen,
we believe in like that. I do. Like we've said this before.
Illuminati. Let's just go on that one.
That. Oh, the Illuminati.
Well, this is the classic.
That scares
I've mentioned it, and you've gone, oh.
Because how do you join the Illuminati?
Well, who knows? I mean, but if you do, and when you're in,
you're in. Don't your soul go to the devil then when you die?
Well, it's obviously a satanic thing, I suppose. But if you are part of it, they can make you really big, rich, whoever they are. This is the thing. It's always the they.
Yeah, who are they?
Who are the they? So, this Illuminati thing and this idea of people doing these hand signals.
But where does it all come from?
Well, obviously it comes...
Where does it stem from?
Well,
if it doesn't exist... the Illuminati I've always been a bit sceptical around.
Well, you've got the Freemasons, which are a very open thing, and, that's all across the world, this Freemason society, the Masons, it's a thing, it's a part
but
of
to join the Illuminati, I don't get it. So you join the Illuminati, become really, really successful, and then when you die, you go to the devil. But how would you even...
But who knows that? I mean,
they're all really religious, so it's like they wouldn't
but you're
that.
assuming, there's a heaven and a hell there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is there a heaven and hell?
I think we're in purgatory.
You've only learnt that word from me,
No,
which
I
is
ain't.
good.
I
Well,
love
okay, well,
religious
I'd like to know.
studies.
Okay, well, spell it.
Purgatory.
I
Purgatory.
think you're right. I mean, the thing is, I asked you to spell something, I don't know how to spell it,
Purgatory.
so I couldn't possibly.
I think we're in purgatory.
Purgatory, right.
We're in the middle where we make our life decisions
Well,
wherever we go.
absolutely.
But then again, is there a hell? You know
Well,
what I mean?
some would argue that, we're living in hell.
Mm.
Because if you look at what's going on in the world, and especially the people that are in power, because that's what this is about. This is about aliens supposedly are the ones that are really, we're like, because, I watched a thing the other day. We're going back to aliens just for a second, and it's on Netflix, and it's about Manhattan alien abductions, right? Now, what they're saying, these people that were abducted, who knows, right? Whether they was or not, only they fucking know, is that they're taking them to their ship, and then they're putting something up their nose, an implant, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you think about that, that's not that mad, because we catch animals. Because
we do,
because we want to learn. So what we do is we'll catch an animal, and in the wild maybe a lion, not a lion so much, but whatever it is that we catch, we put something on it, a chip, and then we follow, and then they watch it and what does it eat, where does it sleep,
Yeah.
what does it do with its day? And we track these things. Why wouldn't, if these other beings are so more advanced than us that they're just studying us? And so the best place to put an implant would be up your fucking ooter. Now, on this thing, watch it if you ain't watched it, this Manhattan abductions, this woman says she's been abducted. Everyone's like, you're fucking off your head, mate. She goes on this famous show in America. Everyone's laughing at her. Anyway, she had her nose x-rayed. They found something in her fucking nose.
Something
Not of this world.
And then who can put a chip up their nose, really?
Well, exactly. And who can just whack it up there? She said she remembers floating up to the ship or whatever, and then she remembers a crack in her nose. And not a weird. And then she started to see herself. The reason she went and had it x-rayed, by the way, is that she was having photos and she thought, there's a lump there. I better go and get that x-rayed. There's a fucking something in there. Now, what the fuck?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, see, I am quite strong with the alien
Could these
thing.
reptilians, is what I'm saying, be another being that, fuck me.
I don't think the royal family
Nothing
are
surprises
reptilians.
me any. Why not? Why not?
But then again, the royal family are quite discreet.
The fuck are the royal family,
We don't really
by the way?
actually know anything about the royal family.
No, of course we fucking don't. But what's the point of them now? I still don't understand it. And look, I know that Prince William, and there's a lot of love out there for him. There was a show on the other night. Prince William, we can stop homelessness. I thought, well, why don't you sell one of your palaces?
Yeah.
So you're going to come to the people, because you're trying to do a good thing, of course. I'm not knocking that. And, charities and all that. So you're going to ask the goodwill of people to help end homelessness. I'm sure he lives in a fucking 25-bedroom fucking palace.
Yeah.
Why don't you give some rooms to some of the homeless? Why don't you sell some of your palaces to raise some money to fucking end homousness?
Because they go to a lot of charities.
Would be a
and
beautiful
stuff,
thing.
Don't they? Yeah.
Well, absolutely. They raise awareness and
work,
they put their name to stuff. The ambassador. What did Jared went and done a thing the other day?
Oh,
didn't he,
for Prince William.
Was it William or Charles?
No, it was William.
It was the Prince's Trust.
Yeah, it was the Prince's Trust. It was Prince William.
So, I understand them putting their name to something, highlights it, and people under. But why don't you start whacking some reddies in, royal family? Why don't you start putting your hand in them deep, deep pockets and start helping people, Because I'm still not over the fact that Prince Charles threw a £250 million party for himself when he had a crown put on his fucking nut, and there's old ladies dying. I've got to become very political today.
You're very,
and I do apologise. If you've just arrived and you're here for some light-heartedness, I do apologise.
Yeah.
It's the Courvoisier that I put in my coffee earlier. Anyway,
put far too much in there.
We will find out about these reptilian creatures soon enough, because I do think something's happening within the world. Fuck knows what it is, but I'm sure something's coming our way, darling. Now it's time, darling, for probably some people's favourite bit. I mean, I hope not, because this is sort of just an add-on, really, just to sort of get through the podcast. And it's called Tumble Dyer, which, do you want to explain it?
So the tumble dial, it churns out a random topic, doesn't it, weekly? And we actually don't know what the topic's going to be.
No, we don't know. It's always quite random. Well, it is random.
We picked it random. They shout it out to us and then we go.
So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to hear a noise in a minute.
Should we cue it?
Should we cue it?
Cue the tumble dial.
Straight out of the Tumble Dyer.
Oh, gangsters.
So, gangsters, right.
Gangsters, there we go.
Well, look, I'm from the East End.
Yeah.
And you're sort of from the East End.
Yeah,
I know you like to claim,
No,
you
it's
know,
not-
that you are, you know, a little East End princess, an East End gangster bitch.
I'm a gangster. Do you remember when you sung that to me before? I'm a gangster.
You're a gangster
bitch. She's a
bitch.
gangster.
I think I
bitch.
nicked that off of Grand Theft Auto, the game. There was a good tune when you first loaded it up, and it was a song about gangster bitches. Anyway, I suppose I've been associated with gangsters because of some of the films I've made. There's a romanticism towards gangsters, towards men, mostly men, let's have it right, who are dangerous. There's something quite attractive to women. Am I not saying, you know, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, I did a whole series on Danny Dyer's Deadliest Men.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
Not all gangsters,
And
you know.
didn't you have to potentially shit in a bag and then you didn't?
Well, I met a guy called Mo Teague. Now, he was a mercenary because we'd moved away from the gangster thing somewhat into deadly men. Now, deadly men can be of all sorts of parts of society.
And you got hit?
He was a mercenary. He used to be... I got chinned by the same man that was Mo Teague.
that was
who
him.
really took me on a... Anyway, he's a mercenary, so which means he would be dropped behind enemy lines on his own.
Yeah.
And he'd have to survive. So he took me somewhere. Where the fuck was it? It's a really random place. Can't remember
Somewhere
where it was.
in the woods.
It was somewhere really undangerous. Anyway, he took me to this place and we had to live in the forest for the night, undercover. And I thought, what the fuck does this bring to the table? He wanted to sort of show me a little glimpse of his life. And he did ask me to have a shit in a bit of cling film.
Yeah, because they said that your shit leaves traces.
Well, you can't just shit where you want because the enemy will smell it out. And they'll realise and they'll find you.
So
What you do is you have a shit in a bit of cling film, you wrap it up, you put it in your little rucksack or whatever bag you've got.
Yeah.
And you carry it around with you.
Did you enjoy meeting gangsters though?
Well, I mean, look, listen, I mean, I come from an area that, you know, what is a gangster really? It's someone, you know, on the criminal side of things, people that like violence, you know, so I've been around it a bit. I
Bonnie
understand.
and Reggie? Were they the
Bonnie and
gangsters?
Reggie, obviously,
Braves?
that they're very romantic side of it. I mean, they did kill people, let's have it right. Never met them. Met a lot of people that did meet them, did know them.
Oh, so how old are they meant to be, them two?
What, now? I mean,
Yeah.
they're both brown bread now. I mean, trying to think. So they would have been maybe, I mean, I can't think what age. Maybe they would have been in early 30s, in the 60s when they got banged up.
Okay.
And then they obviously stayed in prison for the rest of their
Oh,
lives.
God, I didn't realise that.
I'll tell you what I find most fascinating, especially with Ronnie Cray. Now, Ronnie Cray was one of the most dangerous men in London, okay? But also openly homosexual.
Yeah.
So it almost goes against that masculine gangster thing,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
it was open. I think it may even have been, I don't know, because I know that it was illegal to be gay.
I can't believe it was illegal.
Up until the 60s,
How can
maybe.
it be illegal?
Well, this is what, again, governments telling people how to live their lives. This is what's right, this is what's wrong.
Because it's only like really just kind of been legalised that you can get married now if you're gay.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
obviously not, you know, but only the what past
it's mad.
10 years?
If you think about it, yeah. So you know, people that were gay back in the day had to hide and would meet up
Imagine
in
that,
secret
not being able to
well,
be who you
absolutely.
wanna
And
be,
whose
like-
right is it to tell anyone
Yeah.
who the fuck they should fuck or fall in love with?
Exactly.
It's nobody's fucking business. So you know, so the fact that this man, one of the most dangerous men in London, was gay. And no one said a fucking word about it.
No.
Everyone's accepted it.
Yeah.
There's something in that.
Yeah.
And I feel that a film needs to be made about that because that is what makes that fucking interesting,
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
But, you know, the idea, I mean, I've played a few gangsters. I've always played gangsters with a heart.
Yeah, but you've always played like, you know what, when people call you a gangster? No, I mean, I've never seen Football
Call me the
Factory.
OG.
But
I
like
know
when you
that
was in the
means.
business, you was like the kind guy.
Well, I was the one that gets brought into
yeah, so
that
you were.
world.
I don't understand this whole. But I mean, I've never watched a Football Factory, and I don't know why. I've watched all of your films other than that.
You've never seen Football Factory?
Never seen it.
Wow.
But I've seen everything else.
Okay, well, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, maybe I should.
It's a strong bit of
divulge.
work, that is. And obviously Marching Powder coming
Yeah,
out.
Marching Powder.
In January, so the sequel.
Oh.
It's not really a sequel, actually. It's actually going to surprise a lot of people because it's actually a rom-com.
Am I invited to the premiere?
Yes, of course you fucking are.
Thank you.
Anyway, so Gangsters is always a fascinating thing. I love my greatest, my favourite series of all time is Sopranos, which is something you've never seen.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
Oh my God. So you know, the thing about knowing gangsters is you don't talk about knowing gangsters.
Yeah.
So I can't really declare, you know, the people that I know or I've come across or some favours I've done for some gangsters or, you know, just being around that world, it is quite a sexy thing.
Yeah, it is quite sexy, isn't
I think
it,
society
suppose?
has absolutely changed now, and the idea of what gangsters are and hierarchy. Because when I was young, in the East End, the older lot that were gangsters, if you want to call them that, you know, you respected them. No one fucked with them. Nowadays, it's different.
Yeah.
I feel if the Krays were running around now doing their thing, they would have probably been stabbed by some 14-year-old who have no fear about being banged up, you know, have no moral idea of, you know, who's important, who's dangerous, who, oh shit,
Yeah.
don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him. You know, like, it's a very, very scary time to be alive
So
now.
when you was younger, you didn't hear half the stuff that goes on now?
Well, no, there was obviously an element of violence in the air, but, you know, people was in their place, you know, like the top naughty boys, no one fucked with them. No one even said a bad word to them.
Yeah.
You need to see
Whereas
them fighting
now,
each
kids are
other.
running around.
Well, yeah. I mean,
just
you'll get
stabbing
plunged.
each other
Well,
like-
and they're just sort of, you know, like Ronnie Quake had been walking down fucking Oxford Street. There'll be a geezer on an e-bike, come past and rip the fucking watch off his arm.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck who he is.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
And if he fucking fought it, you know, I went Northern then.
No, you were
fucking
fucking. Why'd you
if he
say
fucking,
that?
If he fucking fought it.
Why did you
I don't know what
do
happened.
that?
I don't know why I
What
did
about that woman that one day woke up and she had a Scouse accent?
What about the one that woke up and just was speaking fluent French?
Yeah. That happened. How
mean,
weird
that's-
is that?
That's gangster in
That
a way.
is so gangster.
So, you know, it's a fascinating thing, and there is a romanticism about it. But, you know, are we encouraging it? There is a theory that back in the day there wasn't as much crime because the people were so scared of what the Krays would have done with them. They was at it,
Yeah.
but, you know, these youngsters, and because they was all about respect and respecting your elders, people leaving their front door open. So who knows? But the world is so different now.
So different.
Would they have been a thing? Would anyone have gave a fuck about these twins? Because there's some other twins on the scene, the Terribles,
Terribles.
that could certainly grow up to be the new gangsters of their era.
Gangsters of Lempster.
The two gangster bitches of Lempster. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today. I know I have.
Yeah,
Have you
we've had a
enjoyed
good
yourself,
week.
Dan?
Yeah, you know what? We've had a really lovely little catch up. It's been needed this week, isn't it?
I haven't seen you, you know, and I do miss you a lot.
I miss you too.
You know, the idea of spending time with you and
miss-
getting paid for it is, I mean, it's a fucking win-win.
Yeah,
so
it's a bonus.
I know it's got a slightly political. If it hadn't got political, that's because they've cut it out. But thank you for joining us again. We really do appreciate you a little lot. And that leaves me with the final thing. All the bollocks that's been spoke during this podcast. This is the most important thing. You must never, ever let this slip your mind. You're
You're
loved.
loved.